Hi, you guys. Thank you for jumping on tonight for our team call. I wanted to talk to you about something that resonates with me a lot, especially in this journey of 5 years and watching and helping and guiding a team of my own, but this might resonate with you too. So I wanted to talk to you tonight about the power and the purpose in the pause. There is a quote that I wanted to start out by saying, it's by somebody named Jack Canfield, and he says, by taking the time to stop and appreciate who you are and what you've achieved, and perhaps learn through a few mistakes, stumbles, and losses, you actually can enhance everything about you. Self-acknowledgement and appreciation are what give you the insights and awareness to move forward toward higher goals and accomplishments. I love that. I love that. I love that. And I wanted to start out with this. And I wanted to start out by talking about the purpose in the pause. When you think of pause, what do you mean when I say that? For instance, when you relate it to where you currently are in this opportunity that you find yourself in, I want to talk about the business, because for some people it can happen really fast. You read about those fast start goals, those people that hit emerald in 5 months. While they do happen, for the majority of us, sometimes once we finally figure out what this business is about and what we have in front of us, it can take some time, and there can be time that's passed. So when you think about your own story and where you want to be, sometimes time can pass. For me, for instance, I was sharing about these products, not for a while, actually. I started taking these products. It took me 6 months to really start sharing. And it's not because I wasn't trying to share. It's because I didn't have that belief yet. I wasn't talking about the products, and I was really keeping it to myself. So for many people, when you think about, you start comparing yourselves to other people and you start thinking about where you are, sometimes those lies can tell ourselves things that aren't true. Like, I can't do this. I can't see myself having a big team. I don't want my friends to think that all I care about is their money. I don't want to sell anything. And all of those things, you guys, you're not alone. I have thought about that, and everybody that's probably on this call or on our team has thought about that. Everybody listening probably has thought, each and every one of them, have we had people come and go? Absolutely. And does that mean that they couldn't do it or do this and have this opportunity in front of them? Not 1 ounce, because I believe in everybody who takes that leap, who jumps on board, has the recipe for success in front of them, and it just depends on what they're doing in that kitchen. So I was really trying for a long time. I was trying really hard to breathe belief in people. And I think that when we have somebody breathing belief in us, it's kind of like CPR. You're helping them, you're breathing for them, and then all of a sudden they catch their breath and they start breathing on their own. You can breathe that belief in people, send them inspirational quotes, tell them what you can see in them. And while that is absolutely wonderful and part of this servant type of leadership that we have, that Plexus instills in us, it doesn't change how someone might focus on what isn't happening for them versus what is happening. And it's the fact that those people might not have found their own purpose in their own pause. So what I have learned over time, rather than the correct response, rather than build belief for them, is say something like, if I have somebody that comes to me and says, I can't do this. I don't think that this is for me. I think I'm going to stop. I feel like it is my duty to say, okay, I accept your decision next month, but not today. Because if you start to feel the pressure, you're going to feel the pressure in this. There's going to be emotions. There's going to be a roller coaster. It's okay to press pause. I would want to tell that person, rather than focus on, what they need to do every single day, or what their rank is, or where their points are, or whatever it is that where they feel the most stress. I want that person to take the time to allow to grow and prepare and strengthen themselves for what's next. Maybe that's through self-development. Maybe that's to meditate. Maybe that's to read or spend time with people who lift you up. Whatever that is, if you reach a place where you feel like you are, I don't like the word stuck, but when you reach a place where you feel like you're stagnant, that could be your pause. That could be your pause to tell you that you might not be yet prepared or ready for that next step. And you need to refocus, readjust, maybe even take a step back to figure out where you're going next. So when I talk about the power of the pause, let's talk about this. So the problem is that sometimes the pause feel like you're stuck. You know, you've been trying, you've been working hard, and you're thinking to yourself, like, what in the world is going on? Like, why isn't this happening for me? Why isn't it fast enough? And we start going in those why. And so I heard a message that really resonated with me that caused me to actually start talking about this on this team call. I want you guys to think about this. There's a lot of pauses in life, and a lot of pauses in things that people do and that people work on. So somebody who's a boxer, okay, boxers pause. They go to each corner of the boxing ring to catch their breath. Baseball players, they pause. They walk out from the catcher, walks up to the pitcher. They take a pause. They talk to each other to see what's coming up next. Even when we're watching TV and having our own great shows, what happens? Goes to commercial. There's a pause. So we can get up, go to the restroom, get a snack, come back, and continue on. And then it got me thinking of bigger challenges in obstacles. So climbers that climb Mount Everest. Okay, this is super interesting to me because I was listening to this and I'm like, oh my gosh, light bulb moment. One of the biggest obstacles in the world, Mount Everest climber. These mountain climbers, they pause. It takes 7 to 9 weeks to climb Everest, tallest peak in the world. They go up, but they don't just go up. They pause to be part of a climber. And I found this interesting because I did not know this. They first have to visit the base camp. Then then after the base camp, they have to visit camps 1, camp 2, camp 3, camp 4. Camp 4 is about 26,000 feet. But to get to the tallest peak, to where they're headed, they don't just go up and keep going up. They get to the base camp. Once they get to the base camp, they have to acclimate and pause. And those are two words that can really be interchangeable. And I wanted to, I print out a lot of notes, but I wanted to read to you what acclimation means, the definition of true acclimation. It's a process in which an individual adjusts to change in environment, allowing it to maintain performance across a range of environmental conditions. So if you think about becoming acclimated, so these campers, right, these climbers for Mount Everest, they have to acclimate themselves in the different areas in which they're going. So they get to the base camp, they have to get relaxed, they have to get used to the air pressure, all the things that we can't see or they can't see that have changed, but things that they can feel. Then they get to climb after the base camp, they get acclimated, they get to climb to camp 1. They spend a few nights at camp 1, and after that, guess where they go? They go back to the base camp. They go backwards. Because once they've gone up, they have to step back for a little bit to acclimate themselves before they grow. So once they go back to base, they go back to camp 1, and then they can go to camp 2. And then once they get to camp 2, they go all the way back down to base camp. So that was a huge light bulb moment for me. That was very enlightening. And it kind of goes to show you, like, anybody that has ever gone backwards before, when we go backwards, we think that's it. We think this is where we've ended up. This isn't going to work for me. We're way back here. Maybe our points drop. Maybe a customer left. Maybe an ambassador stopped being active. Whatever that is, that's where the lies start. And that's where the doubt starts creeping in. And that's where you start looking for things to show yourself that this isn't working for you, when really it is. Maybe you're in your own pause. So you start looking for things like, only one person liked my post, or you start not being consistent on your products because that belief starts failing. And then you start comparing yourself to other people. And the problem is, when we're in our own pause, we are a complete broken record in our head, and we start having severe doubts. Even when we feel like things aren't in momentum and people aren't listening, and that person that you sent the sample to didn't even open your sample pack. You've all been there, right? Because I'm like, how do you not open that? It's like gold in your hands. So even when all of those things aren't happening, even when we might have missed a message or might not be following up the way that we should, we beat ourselves. And we are really at that time meant to be where we are because we have a plan. Like nothing takes the big man up above by surprise. So there is a plan for us when we move backwards. Blessings are being worked on for us while we're working through our own breakthrough. Because I think that if you grow so fast, so quickly, you're not prepared to be able to be that leader that you want to be or know the things that you need to know in and believe in yourself. If you would have never talked to that person that introduced you to class, if you would have never scrolled past that one post that maybe brought you here, if you would have never tried that one sample, if we would have never been in the place where we were supposed to be, you would have never gotten here and you wouldn't be on this call. And if you are 100% comfortable with where you are, you wouldn't be on this call. So there's one huge truth is that we weren't created to live a life of constant transition. So what I mean when I say that is we think that we want to move forward so fast. We need this. And then we're forgetting to pause and we're forgetting to acclimate. So if things seem slow at sometimes, wait for it. It didn't get delayed. It's just not on our time schedule at all. It's bigger than us. And being prepared is tough. I heard a story also that I really loved, and I thought that it resonated with this topic. So the story was there are 10 bridesmaids. They're all waiting on the groom. And the bride tells all 10 bridesmaids, the only instructions that you have to do, bridesmaids, you have to have your hair done, you have to have your makeup done, and you have to have a full tank of gas. There's 2 carloads. You have to have a full tank of gas so you can get to where we are supposed to go. So the bridesmaids are okay. They wait and they wait and they wait. And 1 carload of girls follows all instructions. They get their hair done. They get their makeup done. They fill their tank completely full of gas. While the second carload, they fall asleep. They don't make it to the gas station. They weren't prioritizing their time. They didn't fully listen to what the bride was saying. So the groom is ready, comes out. The carload that fell asleep starts freaking out. They're not ready. So they start siphoning the gas from the car that's ready. Why? Because that group B, I'm going to say, wasn't prepared for the opportunity that was in front of them. They weren't ready. And the group that's prepared says, hey, you guys, if you take our gas, we're not going to make it all the way there. So my point in saying that story is when opportunity knocks, you want to make sure that you have developed your gift to share or your business plan or your elevator speech or something that you're ready to be able to share with people. Because that's really where it falls into being difficult, because when we're telling ourselves that we're trying or that we're going out there and really giving it our all, you might miss that opportunity if you're not ready. So being ready, being on point, taking that pause to really be mindful of where you want to go is super, super important. I have seen people, and I'm always amazed by this because I always sometimes, and I'm guilty as everyone else to compare yourself to other people. I have seen someone come into this opportunity and boom, they have, 50 people on their team within the first month. And you're like, how in the world? Like, what's your secret? And you want to pick their brain, and they went so fast. So the person that I had come over from another network marketing company and was just trying something different, had all these people join her, and she got so overwhelmed so quickly because she had just started herself. She wasn't ready. she didn't have the belief yet in this opportunity or in this business or in the products to be able to carry the responsibility or a team. And so what happened, she grew so fast and she was out the door within 2 months because it gave her that lack of confidence, thinking like, I can't do this. This is too hard. I have all this responsibility. I have all these people. So it kind of goes to show that we need to be really mindful of what is in front of us and being patient and knowing that this delay is not a delay because you're not working hard, or it's not a delay because you're not meant to do this. It's a delay because you are getting prepared and prepped for a bigger plan of when you are ready to go where you are supposed to go. So I wanted to kind of wrap up by saying that a couple of things to remind and to kind of circle back around is one of the funny things that I feel like everything that we have, or most things a lot of people have in their life, maybe was just once a wish. So like maybe the car that you're driving right now, you wanted so badly a few years ago, or the house that you live in was once just a goal, or somebody in your life that you ended up with, or a friend that you met, or anything, you were wishing somebody like that would just come and be that sounding board for you, or be that lighthouse for you. So sometimes when we're wishing for something and then we get it, sometimes we can find that we're just maybe not satisfied. So I wanted to say a few key tips to be grateful and count your blessings. The more grateful the things that we have and the opportunity that we have, the fact that we get to do this and that we don't have to do this is absolutely huge. It's absolutely huge. The second one I was going to say is be present and live in the moment. Live in the moment. Find yourself appreciating what you have, and find yourself knowing that if we stop and pay attention to, it doesn't matter if there's one person on your team, one customer, stop and take a look around of why you're here and why you are meant to be here. And it's just that easy to always want to go faster and harder and quicker, but to be present, to live into actually what we are looking for, that's number one and key. Sorry. And then the third one is stop comparing yourself to others. It's super easy to compare ourselves to those people who have what we're going after, the goals. But what it does is just allow us to eliminate our chances for happiness, our chances for knowing that we can do this too. This is your own pace. This is your own journey. This is your own story and opportunity that you're giving to yourself. Number 4, ask yourself different questions. Sometimes the questions that we ask ourselves really is hard in getting us to an effort to get better answers. So instead of saying, when will I ever have this? Maybe we can ask ourselves a different question is, what can I do today to help someone that needs me, that needs these products, that needs a way to improve their life? So ask yourself different questions. And I think that really helps tailor around the way that you see things, like those rose-colored glasses. Next one is let go of that negativity. It's not going to serve you whatsoever. It's not going to resemble appreciation or happiness or excitedness of where you find yourself. And it's going to drive us internally crazy all of the time. And when we're so consumed by maybe people that leave negative comments or people that don't understand what we're doing, or we have to let it go. There's a lot of times that we say in this business or on this team, bless and release. There's no room in your life for it. So to let it go. You don't need to forget. It's just you bless and release. You have an understanding of people aren't going to understand exactly what it is that you're doing and exactly what it is that you're sharing. But it's a really important step in finding yourself and finding what is most important. And that's one thing that I will say, the older that I get, the more I'm a huge people pleaser, but I also used to replay words over and over again, and it was driving me absolutely nuts. And so I really appreciate the fact that I have learned to have those blinders on when it comes to something that I'm going after, or that I know exactly what I want out of this path. So the next one is smile even when you don't feel like it. How annoying is that to positive negative people? But studies show that simply smiling, known, I think they call it like a Duchenne smile, it can lift us out of depression and sadness, making us happier. It's a really simple thing to do, but it can be those simple things that are really helping us through. And then focus on your faith or on your belief. I think if you believe that you are here for a purpose, you believe that you're going after your why, you believe that you really are truly capable of doing and going after exactly what you're set out to do, that you are going to do those things. Belief in this industry and these products and the people behind it in our community and our tribe, if we don't have the belief, then you don't have that will to step out of your comfort zone. You don't have that will to share what you have found. You don't have that will to try to help someone. You don't even sometimes have that will to want to help yourself. It's like you're starting that engine and it keeps turning over. So have that belief, have that faith that this is something that you're meant to do, that you're meant to be here. Doesn't define you, but it's a part of your path and it's a part of your purpose. And if you take ownership in that pause, wherever it is that you find yourself in, you are going to really gravitate towards something beautiful. So I just wanted to share and tell you guys a little bit about where the message that resonated with me, and let you know that I appreciate all of you, and I hope that you find the purpose and power in your pause. So thank you guys for listening. Hi, Katie.